All right, well, still up in the mountains, still working on the backhoe. Anyway, yeah, this has been a lot longer process than I wanted to make it. So we're gonna try and get everything stabbed back in and back up and running today. And then at the end of this video, I'm gonna go over what I learned, what I did wrong, what I did right, things I wish I would have done, and so just keep watching. Anyway, we're getting ready to stab it in. My recommendation is don't use, get on this side, don't use one of these Harbor Freight jacks for a transmission jack. Those things work good if you're pulling the torque converter housing with the reverser, but because I'm only pulling the reverser, I actually dropped it off that, couldn't get it tight enough on there and leveled up with the way the pan on the reverser is. So I spent an afternoon making a custom bracket here that fits the pan of the reverser and supports it nicely for my floor jack. So we're going to try that out. Hopefully that'll work better. That might be one of those things that I did right. I don't know what we're going to see. But my back's killing me. Oh, my back's killing me. All right, anyway, still in the mountains. There's the sun. It's early morning. As early as it is for me. All right, bye. All right, well, here's what this looks like. Took a lot of wrestling, a lot of maneuvering. Still not a good jack for this. I would definitely get one of them old school from the 50s or 60s tranny jacks. That have a little cradle in it. That's what I would get. Anyway, let's go check it out. So I've got the reversers up in there. So I had to take the 4 neutral reverse spool out, give me a little more clearance. Then I guess I should have shown you. I got guide bolts. I cut the heads off these 7/16 bolts, and I got 4 of them up in there. So it's going to guide it in nice and straight. You have to make 100% sure that the tangs for the pump on the drive on the torque converter are offset, so the tangs will go inside the slots in the pump, because that's what drives your hydraulic pump for your reverser. Anyway, it's getting up in there. It's sliding in good now. It just takes a little work. Still not a good jack. Having the cradle's great, but still not a good jack for this because you can't use the jack arm on it. Anyway, it's going in. We're getting there and going back together with it. Cool. So now it's just a matter of pushing it in, and seeing as how it's on those guide bolts now. So see, so something's, I think I need to come down on the jack a little bit. It's easier to see on the other side. Yeah, see, the bottom needs to come down a little bit. So seeing as how I can't get my jack handle in there. Let's see if I can. There we go. Dropped down a little bit, didn't it? That kind of worked. And I could almost, I think I could take the jack off. It's all 4 bolts, man. I don't know if I want to lay underneath this dude, you know, especially with my head here. You'll see something. Oh, look at that. All right, well, we have just a wee bit now. That's not what's not lined up. Ah ha ha ha! It's in, baby. It's in. We're good. All right. Now start bolting it down, pulling my guide pins out. Cool. You know what, one thing I do want to say, it's like doing a transmission, you never want to force it. I did one of those when I was a kid. I forced it in, made a mess. It was the wrong size torque converter. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, you got to make sure everything lines up, because you got your input shaft splines, you've got your tangs for your torque converter, and then you've got the splines for the drive gear. Is that right? Something like that. Anyway, everything's got to line up, so you got to be real careful. You might have to turn the flywheel to get everything lined up. I didn't. Cool. All right, bolting her down. Right. Okay, so I had to pull out the forward neutral reverse spool valve today to get clearance to get under the backhoe. It's this long one here, and if you look, let me try and get it better. It's if you could see, someone in the past has put a pipe wrench on it. They've mangled up the nut right here, so I cleaned out that all up last time I had this dude out when I repacked it. So instead of doing that, I built the tool. So this is a cool thing about being able to fabricate stuff. I took it's a 1 1/4 socket, and I had a 1 1/4 socket laying around, an extra one. That's why I keep spare tools. I never throw away old sockets and wrenches. Let's have a whole bunch of one size, because you might need to make a tool. And I had a piece of tubing, and so I cut the socket in half. I split the tubing, and now this dude goes right over there, and I can get on it. And I'm not using, channel locks or a pipe wrench or whatever they used to take this dude out last time. So something like that's pretty cool, pretty handy. It's backhoe specific to the valves, the neutral cutout, and the forward neutral reverse. Anyway, little something to maybe help you out someday. All right, so we got everything put back together in the backhoe. Check it out. All the hoses are done. All the wiring is back together. The fill tube is back in, and I put oil in it, and we look and nothing's draining out, which is a good sign. So I'm gonna set you up right here. That's gonna be the first start. So when I go to start it right now, I'm not gonna let it run. I'm just gonna start it. That will prime the torque converter. So let's see. Like I said, I haven't started it since I parked it here, so we'll see what happens. So starting, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, like I said, I don't want to let it run, so now I'm gonna check the oil again, and then we'll start it again, then we'll check the oil again, then we'll start it again, and we're good for now. So we're gonna start her up, we're gonna let her run for a little bit, then we'll shut her down, check it again. No banging, clanging, loud noises like anything's coming apart, so that's good. So if my hydraulic pump, if the reverser pump is working, we should have oil. Should have oil up into the torque converter. Just make sure we got oil here. Most important thing. And see no oil there. So fill the torque converter up. And we might have to get my other jug of oil. We'll see. And you don't want to, it's a hydraulic system. You don't want to overfill it. That's bad if you overfill a hydraulic, anything that's got a hydraulic pump on it. It's like power steering pump or, high pressure pump in this dude. Yeah, anything that pumps hydraulic oil. Transmission, that's why you automatic transmissions, you don't want to overfill them. Same reason. They've got the same kind of pump that this reverser has. All right, well, let's talk about what we learned from this job. Yes, you can definitely change out the reverser without dropping the torque converter and the torque converter housing. It's still a pain, but doing them together, it's a pain also. My advice, I learned a few things. I do a few things differently. When I have to do the job again, not if, but when, there's going to be a when, because that torque converter is not long for this world. Anyway, I would definitely get someone to help you when you pull the torque converter out, when you're putting it back up, and then when you're moving it around, because it's really heavy. And it's really awkward when you're pulling it out of the machine. But it can be done. Like I said, I just get someone to help you. A few other little tips and tricks. Having a good transmission jack. The big giant one from Harbor Freight, that sucked because it's got a flat bottom on it. And because it's got the flat bottom, it's just too hard to balance. You can't get it cradled up under there. So get you one of them old-fashioned tranny jacks, the ones that have the little cradle built in, and they're a little smaller. You don't need a lot. I think the reverser weighs about 100 pounds, maybe 110. So you don't need a big giant tranny jack. Something else, you need the engine turning tool to turn the engine over. There's a little inspection plate in the torque converter housing. Pop that off. Drain your torque converter out. I didn't drain my torque converter. You saw what happened. Makes a mess. So drain your torque converter. You can drain your torque converter. Like I said initially, get the John Deere service manual. Get it electronically. Print out the pages you need when you're doing it. It's a great manual. It really is. Step by step. Tells you what to do. But the only thing it doesn't tell you is the sizes of the wrenches that you'll need. But everything else is there step by step. It's a really good manual. Another tip is when you raise the machine up, I raised mine up on the jacks in the back and the bucket in the front. So everything was off the ground. And after about a day, it bled off. So I would get some cribbing up underneath it, some big logs, or if you got some really heavy duty jack stands. But logs work good. I've used that up here in the mountains before. So crib it up, that way it stays up. Mine sat down, and every time I had to crawl back underneath, it seemed like it was shorter and shorter and shorter. So it makes it a little easier on you if you crib it up and keep it up in the air where you started with it. Something else I did when I reinstalled the reverser is I made some pins. I just took some 7/16 coarse thread bolts, and I cut the heads off and tapered the ends, and that way when you get the torque converter up, you slide it, you make pins essentially. They only have to be in about 3 or 4 threads, and you slide the torque converter right over the pins. That way everything's lined up where it's supposed to be. Works really good. One thing I'd do differently is I'd make the little ends of them kind of square. That way you could get a socket on it, because they're only finger tight. Get a socket on it to pull them back out, because it's kind of hard to pull them back out with your fingers with everything being so tight in there. So I fixed one leak, and I found a couple more. And when you have it's a 30-year-old backhoe, you're gonna have these problems. Just keep fixing them as you find them, a little bit at a time, and just take care of what you got, and it'll be a good hoe for you. Didn't sound right, did it? Anyway, if you got questions, comments, and or suggestions even, if you've done this job and you're like, man, Eric, that's not the way I would have done it, let me know, man. Hit me up in the comment section. If you like what you see, if you like what you see, just keep watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and check out some of my other videos. I'm doing a restoration on an old rock building in southern New Mexico. So we have a place up here in northern New Mexico and a place down there in southern New Mexico. So check it out. Anyway, cool. Thanks for watching. Here. All right, well, we got her all buttoned up. Let's see what happens. A week later, and we get 9 inches of snow. So that's primarily what we use the backhoe for right there. So thankfully I got it fixed. All right, see you guys on the next one.